Hey, foreign cars, foreign seats with the foreign leather. Foreign number, put the card in the ATM in the sad era. Yeah, flex mode, this ain't Southwest, this is jet. I ain't gotta shut the cell off, cause the iPhone don't got a jet mode. Bad need pesto. If you wanna come, let's go. We ain't going nowhere special. I just wanna see more desto. Hit your throw and I'ma catch those. Mexican, don't make pesos. Hit your sauce, I'll replace those. Number save, no name though. We need more, tell them we need more. Putting numbers on the board, let them keep a score. Hey, 16 cars in my front yard. Hey, 30 on my wrist, bullet points of God.
Big numbers, big numbers. 100 minute bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, big numbers. Whole team counted, that's a big number.
Yeah, wrist man, check the wrist man, got him hot. Ay, man can't ball like this, man. Lord, past the pig skin when he stretch a distance. I'm talking a few 100,000 yards, you just on your 5th grand. Run it up, 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 count it up. Ay, 100s and 50s and 20s, no 5s and no singles, don't count on them. Ay, she want it like me cause her lame, she can't count on him. She try to be nosy and hit up my ex, she like, girl, you can count on him.
Hey, we need more, tell them we need more. Putting numbers on the board, let them keep a score. Hey, 16 cars in my front yard. Hey, 30 on my wrist, bullet point to God.
Big numbers, big numbers. 100 minute bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, big numbers. Whole team counted, that's a big number. Big numbers, big numbers. 100 minute bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, blue hunts. Whole team counting, that's a big number.
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Monday Night Football on EA Sports. We are just moments away from kickoff, and we've got a good one on tap between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Denver Broncos. I'll be back at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from Sunday's action. But for now, it's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, a terrific night for football as EA Sports takes us to Empower Field at Mile High in the capital city of Denver, Colorado. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Denver Broncos. And hello again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, we look at this Bronco team. They've got to be pleased with the start to this season. Obviously, a perfect 3-0.
3 good quality wins, too. It's got people in the locker room excited. They're thinking that this could be their year.
Meanwhile, for the Bengals here, they come in 0-3 and in desperate need of a win.
And as a team, you start to feel a little bit snake bit. They need something good to happen right now so they know it's not just them. They think they have the makings of a good team.
Versus 0-3. Will current form hold? We'll find out as we're off in week 4. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here come the Bengals now to take over. They're led out by their quarterback out of Fresno State, Derek Carr.
And it's funny how we always talk about how analytics are starting to creep into the game. One analytic that's been there for a long time, teams that start 0-3 usually don't make the playoffs. So we know one quarterback today that's determined to end that slide right now. It's not impossible, but this is a must-win for him and his team.
Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's second down. And a look now at the Cincinnati offense.
And they come off a tough loss last week, and what's their reward? A second straight road game. Rarely are teams happy about scheduling. They're always calling the league office saying, how come we have this game and that game? But when you're coming off of a loss on the road and you go right into another one, that's a difficult task.
From the 27, Carr brought in here by Tyler Eifert. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. The reception good for 7. It's third down. But just play number 3 here on the opening drive, and it's an early 3rd and 1. Here's Bernard. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. 4th down now after a loss of 2. So likely a 3-and-out on their opening drive. That's not a good omen for a team that's lost 3 straight games.
Too many threes that you're mentioning right there. That's a number they've got to get off of. And the big risk you're running right now is discouragement amongst the ranks. How do you keep them up? How do you keep them motivated? They've got to dial up something to give themselves some confidence.
So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. And trotting out there, their tall quarterback standing at 6'5".
And what I enjoyed in preparing for this game was talking not just with the coaching staff, but with him as well. And I found it interesting that the coaching staff sees him one way, and he sees himself an entirely different way.
Yeah, one thing he said he's always working on, we know he's not bad at this, but his footwork, always wants to improve that, and that's something he's going to focus on here.
And what was so funny, what the offensive coordinator say right off the top, he's got great footwork. Love his footwork. So this guy is never satisfied.
And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Line of scrimmage, the 28 now as they come up on 2nd and a couple. On 2nd down, a run with Lindsey. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. We should mention, to go along with a great game he had last week, he was rightfully named AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
And he shares that with his offensive line, the tight end, his fullback. He's looking for more and more of that in this game.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. Last week, of course, the great performance, over 200 yards. He still wants to be fed.
And they should. That's exactly what you should do. I've not yet met a running back that's run for over 200 yards that says the very next week, hey, let's back things out.
I don't need it as much.
No, they want it more and more. They're going to be ready to go because they think that's going to happen naturally now.
And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Big yardage after the catch. That one winds up going for 36.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big gain. First carry for Royce Freeman. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Pretty effective run there, and now they can start to smell that end zone.
Pound the rock. Make sure you use your O-line to set the tone of dominance and physicality, and pound the rock.
They'll run. It's Lindsey. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 4 on the first down play.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Here's 2nd and 8. And this one's incomplete. Deshaun Hamilton, the intended receiver. But now it's 3rd and goal.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. From the gun on 3rd down. Costello to the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They did that they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And on the first drive, 3 and out. I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
The numbers last week for Bernard, 15 carries, 75 yards.
They've lost a bunch of games in a row now. They've got to start thinking a little bit differently, maybe a little bit outside of the box. Find other ways to move the football. I don't know if you're going to do it.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Von Miller, what a season he continues to have, his 15th sack of the campaign.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit him with a screen soon.
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Bradley Chubb able to record his 5th sack of the season. He is proving his worth defensively. Getting the sack here, that comes after being named the AFC Defensive Player of the Week for his performance in last week's game.
He's stacking games together, isn't he? I mean, you just mentioned what he did the previous week to be named AFC Defensive Player of the Week, continuing to play at that level. And when you get that kind of confidence going, those kind of guys are hard to stop.
Out there to start their next drive, Phillip Lindsay and the Broncos. First month of the season, those numbers pretty solid. Does he continue that?
I think so, because when you come out of the gate this strong, that means that you have planned for it and you like the results that you're getting. So I wouldn't have any doubt that the head coach, offensive coordinator, actually called him in and said, look, you're our guy, okay? We're going to continue to stick with this as long as we're winning games. You ready for the challenge? And then they presented it to the rest of the team. I think we'll see plenty of that as this season moves on.
And I'm sure he said challenge accepted. Burst by him near the 35. And now look at him go. The 30, 10, and all the way home for a Broncos score. Phillip Lindsay with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Broncos able to show off their quick strike ability. Well, he's used to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who's a complete guy who can run it and catch it. And we just saw him complete a big-time play for a touchdown.
McManus's point after is good. And the lead grows to 10-0. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
The All-Pro Von Miller there on the tackle.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
You got nothing today. You got nothing.
10-0 the score after one on EA Sports. Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up third down.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
Aguilar has it. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. And they pick up 25 as they convert on third.
championships, baby.
Play action. Now it's Carr. That's complete. Bernard. No gain, and it's second down.
Usually the offense has an answer to anything a defense throws at them, including a safety valve. And that's what they did on that play. They went there, but the defense still made an excellent play and held them to no gain.
To throw again on second down. Carr, and that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Throwing his Carr on third down. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So a couple of first downs on this drive, but it's looking like another empty possession.
And those empty possessions are certainly starting to pile up. So the adjustments that teams talk about all the time have to be taking place. They've got to analyze what's breaking down and figure a way to fix it.
Phillip Lindsay and the rest of the offense heading back out. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the second quarter.
And he doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back. And that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
Now a flag comes in from the umpire after a gain of about 4. And this looks like it's going to be holding. So some holding over on the left side of that O-line.
And I know for the guys trying to move those big defensive people, they'd love for them to stay in one spot. But they move around so quick and so fast that sometimes you just have to grab them.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. From the gun, Costello. He'll have a first down past the 40. Green brings it in. And he'll get this down to the 39-yard line. The catch and run pays off to the tune of 35 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10.
Ready?
On 1st and 10, it's Lindsay. Takes this to the 32, maybe the 31, and then the defense rallying quickly after that broken tackle. A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves him with a 2nd and 3. On 2nd down now, it's Lindsay. And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
Squeeze. Switch gears.
Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. Defensively, they rally the troops to force 4th down after that 7-yard pickup back on 1st.
They tried to run right into the teeth of the defense on 3rd down, but looked like those teeth were pretty sharp.
They were having absolutely none of it, stuffed them for a loss.
Yeah, couldn't get any leverage up front and move people aside in order to run the ball.
These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Throwing on first down is Carr. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Von Miller, he continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year.
He's NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. Sacks a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Now a carry for Bernard. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have to contend with a 3rd and 13.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
A 48-yard punt, 7 on the return. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. So here are the Broncos to take over on offense. They're on a 3-game winning streak, and right now looking good in this one as well. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
You got tight. You got tight. Let us. Jim.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. Two minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder coming up just a few minutes from now, we'll send you to Jonathan Coachman and our crew in Orlando. Coach will have a look back at some of the stats and scores from yesterday's action. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave them with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Looking to throw. Costello. He's got his tight end Fant. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Bronco down.
We didn't need to ask around.
Costello. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Now the Broncos going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Costello. He's got his big tight end, Fant. They get a big amount back, 18 yards, but they'll still look at a 4th down now.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop it?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically, but a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
Still a little bit of time left here in the 2nd quarter, but they do get 3 before the half and expand that lead.
And they have to be happy about that, and we haven't met a team yet that doesn't put an emphasis on trying to get points on the board in the last 2 minutes of a half. They'll be real excited to have those up on the board.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. And now Derek Carr, he is the focus of our players' spotlight. And I guess the question, Charles, is... The Bengals drive about to get going. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
So, all right, folks, eager to get back to this Week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight. Broncos with a lead, and they will be receiving this kickoff here as quarter 3 is underway. This is taken at his 4. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this 3rd quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive step.
A big seam, and he might go all the way. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Phillip Lindsay, 77 yards. And the Broncos push further out in front. And that run massively increased his production in this game, and now he's over 100 yards.
And break out your calculator, partner, because his yards per carry went up significantly, right? Big-time jaunt all the way to the end zone.
McManus now for the extra point. And that PAT pushes the lead up to 23 now. I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. One play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
From the 30 on second down, Carr. It's caught by Aguilar. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Nelson Aguilar, his second touchdown on the season. And the Bengals are able to cut into this lead. Well, if they're going to make a game of this in the second half, they need a few big plays to go their way. That's one.
And the way to get it done is to also conserve time. So to your point, that big play right there, now you're not moving the ball downfield, taking time off the clock. You're leaving yourself a better avenue to continue to try and make a comeback.
This fielded at the 2. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And they hit the home run last drive. One play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about them just taking it big-time jaunt? Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, the play-action pass could very well be open.
That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
Outside handoff to the right side. If you're a running back, you love getting the ball early so you have vision to see what's happening in front of you.
Right tackle likes that call. Big play for him, but don't forget about the guys you always tell me on the backside sealing off.
When they talk about cutoff blocks, making sure no one can leak from the backside that can run a play down.
Yeah, nobody leaked. Big play.
Well, we saw them there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
On second down, it's Lindsey. And he works his way forward for about 4 up to the midfield stripe.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
And a nickel look here for the Bengals as they try to defend this on third. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And fourth down now coming up.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And that is very well done there, as this will be marked out of bounds at the 5-yard line. And now Derek Carr, he is the focus of our player spotlight. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
He'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. A little bit of space there for the first down run, as that's going to get him about 5 yards. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. To throw on third down, Carr. And Eifert has it. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. Give him 17 and a Cincinnati first down. On first down, Bernard. And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
How about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, exploded backfield and spills the play.
And he was AFC. From the gun, it's Carr. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's fourth down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Out there to start their next drive, Phillip Lindsay and the Broncos. And he's sure looking like a lock for a 1,000-yard season. Don't know if he's going to get it in this game, but he'd probably like to just to get past that point.
Yeah, and if he doesn't, as you noted, there's still time, still opportunity. There's still more games to be played. So, yeah, it's not a lock. But barring injury, it certainly looks like he's going to get there. And what an accomplishment that is. Anytime you get over 1,000 yards, you're celebrated in the NFL.
It's been quite a season. Still a couple chapters left in that book, though. Back to the ground, this time with Freeman. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. On second down now, it's Lindsay. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Broncos first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And this is caught for a Bronco touchdown. Noah Fant, his fourth touchdown on the year. And the Broncos push further out in front. And he is a reliable target. They like to get him involved. They got him involved there for the score.
And they should. He's a very good player. Remember, they can use him in certain positions, so many different spots, and he usually comes through for them.
Now McManus for the extra point. Oh, I was just about to say he hadn't missed an extra point all season, but there it is. His first miss, no good. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency. Move the ball at least a few times.
And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. It's picked up by the Broncos. And this is going to be brought back for a Denver touchdown. And give some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice. You're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
Now McManus to tack on the extra point. And that'll increase their lead to 28. And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Derek Carr getting ready to go again on offense. He's been pretty solid, pretty
I would agree with you, and that's what you're looking for out of your field leader. Making sure that you're playing well and not making any big mistakes. Oftentimes, that's how you're judged. How big a mistake and when it occurs. No interception so far. They'll like that.
I just want you to know that you agreeing with me, that's going to get me through this third and fourth quarter. Are you touched? He's patting his heart, boys and girls. He's touched.
Respect.
A big hitter. That one goes for 40 yards.
Let's go.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 32-yard line. Welcome back now to Denver. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. To throw his Carr. And off the deflection, it's caught. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. It's a Bengal first down, a pickup of 11.
Now that's a defensive coordinator's nightmare right there. You're covering everyone, and the guy's not even the intended receiver ends up making the play.
Right place, right time, I guess.
When that ball's tipped up in the air like that, you've got to go up and get it. Offense and defense, and in this case, the offense ended up grabbing it.
And he is going to lose yardage here. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down.
Stay with your man. Mike 51.
On 2nd and 12, Carr completes it to Aguilar. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. With that catch, he goes over 100 yards receiving on the night. And he's been one of their few bright spots here this afternoon.
And as you pointed out, so far he's gotten his. That's not been the issue at all. But the teammates, the other guys, they've been shut down. That's why the defensive guys have to feel pretty good, even though he's over 100 yards.
Yeah, he topped 100 with that last catch. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run? What if you're a pretty good running team? If so, he might...
And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Tyler Eifert, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bengals are able to draw a bit closer.
The big fella was the recipient there for that touchdown pass, and it seems like more and more the tight end is the guy you have to worry about most in the passing game.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that will shave one more off this lead. So the drive winds up going 75 yards in 7 plays. Now the Broncos going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And the Broncos are going to get the football. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical. Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they won't put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. the play fake. Costello. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. He was trying to find Noah Fant, the tight end, but now it'll be third down. First quarter, Charles, you really emphasized the importance of winning the turnover battle as a visiting team, as an underdog. They haven't forced a single turnover in this game.
And right now they're losing, so no turnovers might lead to no victory.
And he's taken down inside the 30. A Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
On first down, right back to Lindsey. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Come on, set. 60 outlaw. Right. Snap.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. This is caught. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. This is something you got to be wary of defensively. I mean, just because they're in the mode of trying to burn some clock doesn't mean they won't pass it, and they got good yardage out of that one.
Yeah, and really, when you're looking at it, now they've got a fresh set of downs. Look for second down. If they want to take another shot and try and loosen things up, that'd be the time to do it.
Ready?
From the gun, Costello toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. And the incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back pop.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. Noah Fant with his second touchdown of the game and fifth on the year. And the Broncos push further out in front. He has really settled in throwing the football, and that touchdown here in the fourth quarter gives him a pretty comfortable cushion.
He may be a rookie, but he's playing like fourth quarter, and the QBing is easy. How about this guy?
They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for, and this touchdown will count. Extra point from McManus is good, and that'll increase their lead to 28. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. It's a Bengal first down, a pickup of 11. Carr now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Now Carr. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 10 yards there on a Bengal first.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Throwing again on second down. Carr. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Bradley Chubb in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury.
Check, 47. Here we go.
From midfield, here's Carr. And he's going to go down again. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as they stop it prior to what will be an important fourth down. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he'll come on to kick for a sixth time tonight. He'll send this away to the Rocky Mountain Knight, and it's a good one. This is fielded at the 7. Call it a 48-yard punt. Give them 9, though, on the return. And it'll be 1st and 10 Broncos from deep in their own territory. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a third down.
Here we go, set, 18, Gator. Hard. Hit it.
They'll try and run for it with Lindsey. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. Well, they were in search of a short gain on third down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards. Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Broncos, that early momentum continues here as they move to 4-0. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, they'll sink now to 0-4. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week.
The young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a joke like Chappelle Show. This so perennial. Do this for my millennials. I be murdering any flow. I just had to let you know. It's the young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a joke like Chappelle Show. This so perennial. Do this for my millennials. I be murdering any flow. Yeah. I just had to let you know. Yeah. Give me that work and I can sell it. I put it on the line like I ain't selfish, nah. The story if I let you tell it. Put my heart and soul in so you feel it. I ain't never faking, I'm the realest since Tupac in the prison and claiming his innocence. Currently, I'm the greatest rapper in a sense. But any currency, I'm still guaranteed my wins. This is coming from within, I stuff for real, I don't pretend. When the OG spilling knowledge, bet it's best you soak it in. I'm a prophet to them scholars, got them chakras opening. Got them fixing up they octaves, now they truly focused in. I'm seeing 20/20 visions. Daily manifesting on my premonitions. Best to keep it neutral, got my own religion. The brainwash, gotta make your own decision. My word is James Bond, I stay on the mission. Coming for the top position, ain't no competition, man. Pull up in the top is missing, the opposition in. All that lane switching, this is what the game is. It's the young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a joke like Chappelle show. This so perennial, do this for my millennials. I be murdering any flow. I just had to let you know. It's the young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a joke like Chappelle show. This so perennial, do this for my millennials. I be murdering any flow. I just had to let you know.